Hey Lacey, how's it going? Hey Valen, how you doing? Welcome in. Talking about everything that went on yesterday with the No King's Day protests and what's next. If you got any information on what's going on in your area, any of the major protests planned for after No Kings, and you want to let everybody know, go ahead and get it out there. Uh, I'm also doing a live for Adam and Seth. Hi, Elaine Chambers. How's it going? Just talking about No King's Day and where we go from here. As I was saying, I am also doing my Adam and Seth Sundays sans Adam. Unfortunately, he is not feeling good today, so he can't make it with us. I am taking questions if you want to throw questions out about the subject today. I have no problem with that. Feel free. As I said, I'm also doing my Adam and Seth live on YouTube if you want to follow that. It's Adam Seth Sundays on YouTube. It's Sans, our Adam, our sexy, sultry co host, because he's not feeling well, and we wish him the best and to get better soon so that we can get back to this. How's it going, everybody? Welcome in. If you got any notifications or any words of encouragement for yesterday with the No King's Day, if you want to voice your opinion on it, either way, I don't mind. I just ask you, going to try to do the whole crap. If you actually have a debate point, something to actually talk about when it came to No Kings yesterday, please feel free to throw it in. If you also know of any protests that are going on after the No Kings, you might not be in my area, but you might want to get the information out to people in your area. Feel free to throw it out there. For those on my Adam and Seth podcast, I am currently on TikTok as well. Hi folks, how's it going? Welcome in. How you doing? Travis, Dan. Gosh, there's so many of you popping in here. Thanks for joining in. I appreciate it. I might be looking up some stuff to see if I see anything coming up. Giving information for people if they need it about your situation, your areas. If you have any call outs for, your area, if you wanted to find out next plans of attack, go ahead. Throw it on the chat, and I'll do my best to sit there and find you the information you need. So in my area in Oregon, they haven't really figured out exactly where they're going to or when they're going to be doing the next protests. There's a voting system on the 50501 website. For I need to go back to where you would think that that's the thing is like everybody does work. We're doing this when we're not at work. Saturday was a weekend. Just saying. If you'd like to follow me on my YouTube live or our YouTube, it is Adam Seth Sundays YouTube. As I was saying, Oregon really doesn't have any real idea of when they're going to be doing the next one. They're throwing out dates for the next one of them being July 4th. I think a lot of people are talking about doing a July 4th protest. I agree with it. I think that might be a great time to do another really big protest on July 4th. But there are also people out there who are saying it might just be too soon. I don't see how, but it might be too soon. Might have to sit there and wait to do it. Thank you for the likes. I appreciate it. But that's up to everybody. That's for the people that put it on 50501. What's the other one? Indivisible. Ones like that, they put it on, and it might be that they have to get certain kind of permits, licensing, find out exactly how the route's going to go, and that could take time. Most of the times, you just do it yourself. That's what a lot of other people did. Robert, how you going? Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. But yeah, if you want to know about places that they're doing them in your area, feel free to go ahead and ask. I have no problem looking them up while I'm on here. Let's see. it will come into place for the USA and going to cry. They will keep destroying the USA and martial law will come into place for the USA, then they're going to cry. Yeah, it's just sad. Just sad. Like, they keep destroying. I'm trying to figure out how you were trying to put that because you don't use proper sentence structure or punctuation. So, and martial law will come into place for the USA, then they're going to cry. Everybody's going to cry if martial law comes into place. It doesn't matter if you're Republican or a Republican, a Democrat, left, right. Doesn't matter. The whole fucking bird is broken. They bring in martial law. They don't give a flying fuck about you. Okay, it's just how it goes. You gotta understand that. Thanks for tuning in. I do appreciate it. Like I said, I'm not gonna sit there and attack people who are MAGA or anything like that. I'm not the one. I'm not one to sit here and do like those other guys and debate them and, well, why did you vote for Trump? I don't care why you voted for Trump. Okay, you have a plethora of reasons. I'm not one of those rage baiters. I'm literally just here to sit there and conversate, give you information about your area if you want. In Oregon, Portland, I think they are planning on one on July 4th, but people are putting on. Not yet. So I'm going to look up protests in planned. Oh, I hate when my freaking hand does that. I have a Chromebook. They suck. I need to get a Windows book. Planned for July nationally. That should help, right? Wait. All these riots are going to cause martial law. I have no problem staying inside my home, work from home. I think that's what you meant. And you almost had it. You almost had it. You put the period in the wrong place. But I get where you were coming from. Look, that's the only thing I'm going to give people crap about. Like, please show me that education isn't that important. You guys are fighting to sit there and get rid of it. Show me that it's not that important. Use proper sentence structure, punctuation, grammar. I would appreciate it. It would help so fucking much. Okay. Now, back to your comment. All these riots are going to cause martial law. There have been no riots. I was in Portland yesterday. There were no riots. There were 50,000 people in the street doing what they were supposed to do and voicing their opinion and exercising their constitutional right to freedom of speech, having a good time. Yeah, I mean, I didn't see a dang thing of riots. Now, if you're talking about like at the ICE detention centers, I wouldn't call those riots either. I would call that ICE not properly engaging with the public. It's probably a nice way to put it when it comes to TikTok because I'm looking at a 2 strike ban already, and so far they've been having a massive problem with me fucking having my opinion on this shit. There was riots in California. You can't tell me that I live in California. So, did you not see what happened in California? Did you not see what caused most of that? It's actually a mixture of things. They have what they call antagonizers, who will rule with mob mentality and cause people to actually start rioting. And that's actually brought on by police or ACAT or not police or ICE or feds. They've used it in many different fucking protests in the past, and civil rights protests. They've used that tactic for many years. So it's not a riot until paid agitators. Yeah, the agitators at the fights, whatnot. Yeah, they're paid agitators. I actually helped kind of sway off 2 agitators yesterday in the crowd. It was ridiculous. A lot of people were watching them, and it's 2 guys wearing full on heavy rain jackets, jeans, and Justin boots, carrying rocks and throwing them in. Always bringing costs ICE and military. I'm not blaming the military. No. Don't get me wrong, bud. I love our military. I hate our government. There's a big difference. I love our military. They're, yeah, paid for by our taxes. Exactly. Thank you, Faye. But yeah, they our military is being used as pawns continuously by political figures who want to sit there and push their fucking political agenda. Uh, the problem with this whole situation is it's been happening for many, many, many years, and we allow it to happen as Americans. People who are blind to what's really going on, and it's more like because I honestly feel, this is my opinion, I feel like the people who are blind to the actual stuff going on are either afraid, deeply afraid that it's going to happen to them, so they keep their mouths shut so that they can hopefully, slide under the radar of this fascist regime, or they're masochistic, they really like it. Something wrong with them. But that's my opinion. Everybody has their own opinion. Everybody has the freedom to have their own opinions. Yes, or gullible. Oh my God, yes, I forgot about that. I apologize. Yeah, or uneducated. And another reason that I say education is so fucking important in America, in the world, is because of people like that who, once again, my opinion, live to be the unintelligent. They would rather be unintelligent. They don't want to be they don't want to be an intelligent person. It's scary. It's really scary. Let's see. So, information regarding potential nationwide protests planned for July 2025 across the United States is limited at this time. This is coming off of the AI overview of Google. Apologies, people. However, one source indicates a planned event rally for the rule of law. This rally is scheduled for July 1st, 2025 at the Supreme Court of the United States from 12 to 3. So if you're in that area, you want to voice your opinion to the Supreme Courts, there you go. It's going to be held from 12 to 3 p.m. on July 1st, 2025 at the actual Supreme Court of the United States. Something to look forward to. Where else we got? Note, the provided search results detail no Kings protest. I don't want to know Kings. That's why I don't like the AI nowadays. I'm telling you, there's some fucking shady shit going on with that. The provided search results detail no Kings protests that occurred in June 2025. Opposing the Trump administration's policy and actions, especially on June 14th, 2025, coinciding with a military parade in Washington, D.C. These protests were organized by groups such as the 50501 Movement, Indivisible, and the American Civil Liberties Union. It is possible that these or related groups may plan further protests in July, but no definite information regarding such plans is available in the provided sources. The main reason they don't have the provided sources have any information on it is because they're not trying to plan it and then put it out there like on contract, because you don't want to do that. You don't want to plan a protest and then the other side gets a wind of it and then suddenly they're ready for you. You don't want them being ready for you when it comes to the protests. It was fun down there in Portland. Tell you what, everybody had a great time. Everybody was peaceful. Everybody was smiling, laughing. There was a marching band playing. It was beautiful. It was actually gorgeous. A beautiful day. Sucked for trumperdink. You guys don't need to see me drink soda on. You appreciate it. You don't have to give me likes, but thank you. Do appreciate it. I'm just trying to give out information. Kind of like when I do my reports on the protest. That's another thing. TikTok burns through your battery so fucking fast when you're doing lives. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. I did a test and I tested to see how well it did on my YouTube. And I burned through my battery 3 times as slow on YouTube than I did on TikTok. It's weird like that. As I was saying, that's just the headways coming up about. I don't want to dive deeper into AI mode. I just want to see current nonviolent protests. Teresa, Nunn, Victor Lopez, Kasha Nadia, how you doing? Welcome. I'm literally just trying to gather information on some of the protests that might be coming up in the areas. Now, I will say this. There are, every day, there are ICE detention center protests going on, especially right now in Portland, Oregon, and I believe in Tacoma. Also in Tacoma right now, they are having some massive sit-in protests for those ICE detention centers. And that one guy that was on here talking about riots, he might try to be talking about something like that. I know that in LA they were having mad fights, and it was more honestly. I've seen a lot of videos of all the different areas, and there was a lot more peace that I saw. And I'm looking at both sides because my TikTok algorithm keeps throwing me back and forth between both sides. So I'm seeing both sides. I'm seeing the videos of these right side people saying that's riots, and it's a bunch of people standing there, yelling at the cops, and the cops firing on the people. And I'm like, if you're talking about the cops firing on the people as a riot, then yeah, you're right. In Portland, I literally saw this. They have some of their ICE agents are actually coming in from outside the state. One of the ICE agents was a Texas agent standing on top of the detention center, and while a lady was giving uh, a speech, I believe it was an indigenous people's prayer. Please feel free to fact check me on. I was down at the Portland ICE detention center. I believe it was yesterday. He just started pelting people with paintball gun, those pepper bullets, those pepper balls. Just started pelting them all over the place. Didn't care. He's just standing on top of this thing like, and just pop, 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 pop. Not giving a crap. Like, lady's not even doing anything. Nobody's doing anything. This lady's actually just speaking, and he just decides he's going to just fire on them. But I'm not supposed to blame police or. Joe Moggins, how's it going? Dan Hawk, Angie, what the fuck? Who? I like your name, Jamie. How you doing? Welcome in. Um, so yeah, those are a lot of the things that are going on right now. Is ICE literally being themselves. Uh, I've said it in one of my videos on TikTok. I keep doing that. Autism. Uh, I believe that if this is my belief, just so y'all know, I believe that if any of the governors of these states really want to sit there and show Trump you can't do that crap to our state, they should activate their National Guard in response to his ICE agents. Because his ICE agents are harming, so are the police, though. They are harming the citizens to get what they want, which is the immigrants. They're doing some of the most heinous shit out there to get their way. I have my kids doing their own video out there and for YouTube playing Minecraft. But yeah, so if you want an easy protest to go to off the bat, best one to do is just go straight into one of your ICE detention centers. You're right there at your ICE detention centers and sit in with everybody. They do need people to get the word out. They need people to do everything they can to sit there and get ICE out of their cities. And this is every city that doesn't want them there. I've sat there and I even like put it out to my state's governor, through whatever fucking platform I can, and even just trying to like message her. I have tried telling her you need to do something about this. Your police are abusing the civilians, and they're doing it for ICE, which is what you said we're not into. So it just tells me exactly what politicians really are into. Hey, Becca D, I think I said your name wrong. I apologize if I did. Thanks for coming in. Ms. Reynolds, how you doing? Hancock, how you doing? But yeah, I've sat there and I did my best to try and get it out to Tina Kotek. The one person I really want out of our state is Ron Wyden. He's the senator for Oregon. He is literally he's got every single lobbyist in his back pocket, every one of them. He was, I've said this before and I'll say it again, he was at one of our city hall, town hall meetings at a community college. And when asked by his constituents and this wasn't even an older person, this was a younger person. I'm pretty sure they were probably on disability. And they said, what are we supposed to do about Medicaid when it gets cut? And he looked right at this person and told them, call AARP. What the fuck is the AARP going to do about our government cutting Medicare? This is why we need to get rid of these incumbent. I want to say they're incompetent. They're not even. So weird how incumbent and incompetent are so close together when it comes to the way you say it. Incumbent, incompetent, incumbent, incompetent. But yeah, no, that's why we need to get rid of these incumbents who are just sitting there collecting money from these lobbyists, patting themselves. They don't, they're not doing anything for their system. They're not doing anything for their people. They're not doing anything for their state. So they need to go. They've been there too long. I mean, shit, I think Ron Wyden has been senator of Oregon for going on 20 something years or something like that. He's been there. And they say, well, there's nobody who wants to run against him. I don't think it's nobody wants to run against him. It's nobody gets backed to run against him because the lobbyists, you know, put more money into his stuff and do their best to funnel any money out against somebody's primarying Ron Wyden to where he's just the one sitting in the seat. Janelle Bynum is another one we should get rid of. She's a congresswoman, and she literally signed the bill that told ICE thank you for what they're doing to the people. This person who sat there and swore up and down that she's for the people of Oregon goes and signs a bill. It's just, basically, she took a knee. She took more than a knee and said thank you to the people who are kidnapping people off the streets. It's called sympathizing. When they came for such and such, I did not say. That's literally what's going on with our government. They are there to make themselves richer and more powerful. They're not. There's honestly, there's only probably like two politicians out there that even give a flying fuck about what's really going on. And I'm not going to say Gavin Newsom, and I'm not going to say Bernie Sanders. Like, no, I'm not even going to bring those two up. It's literally, there are very, very, very few politicians out there that are actually about that life, about standing on business and doing what's right. Most of them are there because of the power trip they can get. I mean, look at Marjorie Taylor Greene. Look at Kristi Noem. Look at the press secretary. What's her fuck? God, I can't remember her name. That's how unimportant she is to me. Yeah. Oh, and then that dumb, super neo-Christian Pam Bondi. I mean, these are the kind of people that he put into his office. Like, it's like Stepford Wives or some kind of crap like that. I mean, Kristi Noem is so fake. You can see it in her face. She's like literally fake, ultra fake, like super duper fake. You can tell that by her physicality. You can't tell that by her insides. Come on now. But yeah. So today is Father's Day. I am a father. And so my wife and my kids got me some cool stuff for Father's Day. But I think the biggest thing was like my wife was, "What are you doing cleaning? It's your day off." Parents don't get the day off when it comes to cleaning. C Cup Jade, I think, is that what your name is? I apologize if I said your name wrong. Hi, how's it going? Ralphie boy, how you doing? Who is this alien-looking person? They've been here for a minute, and I apologize because I didn't say hi. And you're still here. Can I click on them? Ida Sabion. If I said your name wrong, I am so sorry. I apologize. Antonio Morales, how you doing? Welcome in. Viva la Raza. See, I speak very little Spanish, but my heart is with the Latin community. And I got way too many mi familia that I don't want to see going. And I'll fight for them. Tooth and motherfucking nail. Mama Llama. Mama Llama. How's it going? Welcome in. Paul Alton. If I said your name wrong, I apologize. Camby. D. Shaw. Scott. You really can't say that name wrong, can you? See, brother. Something from PBS probably helped. How's that? Eduardo Montiel. If I said your name wrong, I apologize. Bienvenidos. Protesters gather across the U.S. at nationwide anti-Trump. Let's see what we can get for numbers. How about that? That sounds like a good idea. Oh, I couldn't see your name before your picture. How you doing? Welcome in. How you going? Hi. Oh, bye. I love how that happens with TikTok. It's like in, out, in, out. So, urge the Senate protect PBS funding. We know that. Please. Andy, how you doing? Protect PBS. Protesters gather across the U.S. at nationwide anti-Trump No Kings. Yeah, they've been playing out there. That's the thing about being a dad. You gotta be ready. As I was saying, protesters gather across the U.S. at nationwide anti-Trump No Kings rallies. Philadelphia, masses of demonstrators packed into streets, parks, and plazas across the U.S. on Saturday to protest trumperdink. I was about to say president. He's not mine. Marching through downtowns and small towns, blaring anti-authoritarian chants mixed with support for protecting democracy and immigrant rights. Organizers of the No Kings demonstration said millions had marched. It's true, 12.2 fucking million people yesterday all around the world, and it was like throughout the whole day. Beautiful thing. And I think I saw something they said about like I don't know. I think it was either 20. Yeah, it was like 20,000, maybe. I could be wrong, but like 20,000 people. Like, please feel free to like throw it out to me. Give me I can look it up, but if you want to, go ahead. 20,000 people showed up at his parade. I mean, it's the squeak heard around the world. If you guys have been listening to it, you know, the tank tracks are squeaking. There's no one fucking chanting. It's fucking beautiful, eerie, but fucking beautiful. Ah, as I was saying, organizers of the No Kings demonstration said millions had marched in hundreds of events. Governors across the U.S. had urged calm and vowed no tolerance for violence, while some mobilized the National Guard ahead of marchers gathering. So, I'll get to that in a minute. So, yes, there were some states that you can obviously they're red states. They're fucking following Trump. They're going to be sitting there going, "Yeah, we're going to get the National Guard out there." Those are the kind of people we don't need in office when they can turn their own fucking soldiers against their people, against their constituents of their state. That's you say you want a revolution. A.S.S. Sundays on YouTube. Just remember that. I might get kicked off here in TikTok around ban number 2 or well ban bullshit number 2. Confrontations were isolated, which is true. Police in Los Angeles, where protests over federal immigration enforcement raids erupted a week earlier and sparked demonstrations across the country, used tear gas and crowd control munitions to clear out protesters after the formal event ended. So, like, that one guy said it was riots. They were peaceful. They were walking around doing their peaceful thing, and then the police and ICE started laying them out with rubber bullets and tear gas to get them out of there. But don't blame the police or ICE, right? Right. A previously calm demonstration in downtown LA quickly turned chaotic. Wonder how that could happen. As police on horseback charged at the crowd, motherfuckers. Using horses against their will, man. That's some bullshit. That's some fucked up shit to do to fucking horses. When you get off your fucking horses and do it yourself. Oh, right. Bunch of pussy ass. Anyways, horseback charged at the crowd, striking some with wood rods and batons as they cleared the street in front of the federal building. Picture shows a lady and a dude being smacked by a baton by a cop on a white horse. So that whole, knights on white horses is bullshit. All cops are bad. All cops are bad. All cops are bad. It was a total 100% overreaction. They weren't doing anything, which is true. but standing around chanting peaceful protests. Sorry, I'm actually sharing my live on my YouTube to my Facebook real quick. Sorry, I'll be right there. Skiz. Mm-hmm. I don't need it.
My foot.
You gotta love kids. If you don't, there's something wrong with you. Something wrong with you. Excuse me one moment while I shut my door. My door. Ah, I am. Thank you. Hey there. How you doing? Fantastic. Yeah, allow. Why is it? Mm-hmm. Can I bring? Wait, how about this? We do this. Minis. Thank you. While you figure out your thing, I can come back to this. Doobie 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 doo. Yep. That's all I had to do. Sorry for being away for so much. Julie Manley. Can't see your name. One, I guess. Cecilia Rodriguez. Thanks for tuning in. I apologize if you came in and I wasn't talking to you. Share the post. Boost. I'm not gonna boost my post. I hate Facebook for that. Stupid. I'm trying to just share my live on my YouTube. By the way, if you're catching this and you think it's fucking entertaining, give me a shout. As I was saying,
You're done doing
you gotta love kids. Somebody does anyway. I do. I love kids. They're stupid. No, they're not. They're amazing. Where was I? I love my kids. This is why I hate having autism because I have to remember where the hell I was at. Starcar, how you doing? Frank Ruiz. Nana Juju. If I said your name wrong, I apologize. Jose Butron. If I said your name wrong, I apologize. Lynn or Line. I always say people's names wrong, I feel like. Rebel. Officers then fired tear gas and crowd control projectiles at the large group, sending demonstrators, hot dog vendors, and passing pedestrians fleeing through the street. Some have since regrouped, ignoring an LAP dispersal order. Or excuse me, an LAPD dispersal order. It was a total 100% overreaction. We weren't doing anything but standing around chanting peaceful protests, said Samantha Edgerton, a 37-year-old bartender. Huge, boisterous crowds marched, danced, drummed, and chanted shoulder to shoulder in New York, Denver, Chicago, Austin, and Los Angeles, and Portland, and like a lot of other. You know, funny thing is that over there in Wisconsin, the it's not funny about those people being shot at all. It's not funny about that. It shouldn't even say it's funny. It's not really funny. It's more like 50501 wasn't going to actually put on their protests in Wisconsin because of what happened. And the people said, yeah, no, we're going to keep going. And it's a beautiful thing to see. Like thousands of people showed up to protest, even with all that horrifying shit that was going on down there. They still showed up. You know, that takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of bravery to do something like that. And I'm mad respect for them for it. Oh yeah, so where was I? So some behind No King's banners. Atlanta's 5,000 capacity event quickly reached its limit. Yeah, it got big, with thousands more gathered outside barriers to hear speakers in front of the state capitol. Trump was in Washington for a military parade marking the Army's 250th anniversary that coincides with the president's birthday. Oh, man, I don't care about that. About 200 protesters assembled in northwest Washington's Logan Circle and chanted Trump must go now," before erupting in cheers. A larger-than-life puppet of Trump. They had some really cool ones. The Portland protests. Oh my God, they had a giant golden bowl made to look like Trump. It was fucking hilarious. About 200 protesters assembled. Blah blah blah. Before erupting in cheers, a larger-than-life puppet of Trump, a caricature of the president wearing a crown and sitting on a golden toilet was wheeled through the crowd. In some places, organizers handed out little American flags while others flew their flags upside down, a sign of distress, which is true. It is a sign of distress. Mexican flags, which have become a fixture of the Los Angeles protests against immigration raids, also made an appearance at some demonstrations Saturday. Viva la Raza! In Culpeper, Virginia, police said one person was struck by an SUV when a 21-year-old driver intentionally accelerated his SUV into the crowd as protesters were leaving a rally. The driver was charged with reckless driving. She got more than that, in my opinion. The demonstrations come on the heels of the protests over the federal immigration enforcement raid that began last week in Trump ordering the National Guard and the Marines to Los Angeles, where protesters blocked a freeway to set cars on fire. We'll find out how that goes on Monday. They did a stay on that. It's not overturned. It's just a stay because they did it during the weekend. So we'll find out how it goes. I mean, if anybody knows any more information about that than I do, please throw it out there for me. Today, across red states and blue, rural towns and major cities, Americans stood in peaceful unity and made it clear we do not want kings. The No Kings Coalition said in a statement Saturday afternoon after many events had ended. So, what do you say, Philly? Democratic U.S. Rep. Jamie Raskin of Maryland shouted to the crowd. Are you ready to fight back? Do you want a gangster state or do you want free speech in America? That's a beautiful statement. Bold and beautiful. In some places, organizers handed out little American flags while other demonstrators brought larger versions to wave amid signs that ranged from pro-democracy and immigrant rights messages to a variety of anti-Trump sentiments. In Los Angeles, thousands gathered in front of City Hall, hundreds gathered on the lawn in front of Mississippi State Capitol, and marchers in downtown Little Rock walked across a bridge over the Arkansas River. Protests were planned in nearly 2,000 locations across the country, from city blocks and small towns to courthouse steps and community parks. Organizers said, no events were scheduled in Washington, D.C., where the military parade will take place in the evening. So I'd heard that I'd heard two things. I had heard that they were going to plan a type of Tiananmen Square thing where the people just stand in front of the tanks. And I'm glad they didn't because with Trump making those threats to the civilians about major force, I'm glad I didn't have to see that. Instead, they all just said, no, you're not important. We don't care about you. We're going to go party over there and celebrate No King's Day and celebrate the Army's birthday our way with the vets. And he didn't like that. I'm still waiting for somebody on YouTube or TikTok to get me a small vid of Trump at the parade, so I can change it into the Sad Ben meme from back when the Dawn of Justice came out, and he was all around me are familiar face. You know what I'm talking about. The 50501 movement orchestrating the protest said it picked the No King's name to support democracy and speak out against what they call the authoritarian actions of the Trump administration. It's true, though. The name 50501 stands for 50 states, 50 protests, and one movement. It used to be it was 50 states, 50 protests, one voice, or something like that. But it had to get changed because so many people started to get in on it. It became bigger and bigger and bigger. It's still becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. The demonstrations come on the heels of protests that flared up across the country over federal immigration enforcement raids that began last week and Trump ordering the National Guard and Marines in Los Angeles. Protesters blocked the freeway and set cars on fire. That's true. That one was true. But there's also video of the cops sitting there and destroying their own cars. There's actual video of the LAPD destroying their own cars to make it look like something worse. They started this shit. It's called antagonizing the fucking fight. And they did it. You got rioters down there because you created them. Just saying. In Philadelphia, thousands gathered downtown where organizers handed out small American flags. They already did this one. No, it's all everybody about the small American flags. We get it. There was a bunch of American flags down there, which is good, but still, like, it's not like if you're going to do a news report, I am reporting from PBS. So if you're going to do a news report, there's certain things that, like, once you get that point across, you don't need to beat a dead horse. We get it. There was a bunch of little American flags everywhere. I get it. American flags and people carried protest signs that said fight oligarchy and deport the mini Mussolinis. I like that one. Deport the mini Mussolinis. Karen Van Triest, I'm probably saying her name wrong, a 61-year-old nurse who drove up from Maryland, said she grew up in Philadelphia and wanted to be with a large group of people showing her support. Badass. Seriously badass, Karen, I apologize. I just feel like we need to defend our democracy, she said. She is concerned about the Trump administration's layoff of staff at the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the fate of immigrant communities, and Trump trying to rule by executive order, she said. A woman wearing a foam Statue of Liberty crown brought a speaker system and led an anti-Trump sing-along, changing the words "young man" in the song YMCA to "con man." That's good. I like that. I like that. I am what the successful American dream looks like, said Cici Tiedes, I'm probably saying their name wrong, an immigrant from Bolivia who attended the protest. I've enjoyed great success here in the United States, and I've also contributed heavily to my community. And if there was space for me, I think there's a way for everybody else to belong here as well. That's beautiful. That really is beautiful. In LA, let's see if they got the. I'm just reading it real quick to see if there's any more flags. Thousands gathered in front of City Hall, waving signs and listening to a Native American drum circle before marching through the streets. As protesters passed National Guard troops or U.S. Marines stationed at various buildings, most interactions were friendly, with demonstrators giving fist bumps or posing for selfies, but others chanted "shame" or "go home" at the troops. That kind of ruffles my fucking feathers. Like, look, they're not there on purpose. Some of them might be, and then point them out. You can tell which ones are there because they want to be. The rest of them are being conscripted through orders. They don't want to be there. Look at the National Guard. There were supposed to be 2,000 that showed up. Only 700 showed up. That means that there's 1,300 of them went. Wouldn't care. And if you give me, like you can say, oh, well, what about those Marines? Marines are different, okay? Like, it's not just like you'll get an AWOL. It's more like you'll get shunned hard by that military family if you do not follow those orders. And a lot of the military Marines will tell you that, yeah, they're not trained properly to sit there and deal with a crowd control or something like that because they are trained to first one's in, last one's out, usually with a toe tag. Just saying. Anybody that knows that shit, they know that shit. Amid signs reading, "They fear us, don't back down California, and we carry dreams, not danger," one demonstrator carried a 2-foot tall Trump pinata on a stick, with a crown on his head and a sombrero hanging from his back. Another hoisted a huge helium-filled orange baby balloon with blonde hair styled like Trump's. Beautiful. Fucking beautiful. A few blocks from City Hall, protesters gathered in front of the downtown Federal Detention Center being guarded by a line of Marines and other law enforcement. It was the first time that the Marines, in combat gear and holding rifles, have appeared at demonstrations since they were deployed to city on Friday with the stated mission of defending federal property. Yeah, that was their mission, is they got to just defend the property. Peter Verratti, 54, said he voted for Trump last November for economic reasons. Now, for the first time in his life, he is protesting, waving a Mexican and U.S. combined flag. "I voted for Donald Trump, and now I regret that. Because he's taken this fascism. Let me try that again. Because he's taken this fascism to a new level," Verratti said. "It's Latinos now. Who's next? It's gays, blacks after that. They're coming for everybody. We told you that this whole fucking time. This whole fucking time. This whole fucking time. We have said that. They are coming for fucking everybody. They don't fucking care. It's gonna be the Latinos first. And then it's gonna be everybody else. If you're not fucking a super neo-national Nazi Christian, you're gonna get fucking taken out of here by fucking Trump and his regime. Unless you're rich. Unless you're rich. That's the only way that he can't see fucking, because that's the only color he sees is green. Unless you're fucking rich. Even after the formal event ended, the downtown streets were packed with a jubilant, yeah, I said that right, crowd as people danced to salsa music. Fuck yeah. Ugh. You guys had some good music and snacked on hot dogs and ice cream bought from vendors. Oh, the vendors that they had down there, man. I'll tell you what. Excuse me. I had just eaten before I went down to the protest, so I had enough, calories and carbs in me so I could like get through the march and everything. And yeah, it didn't prepare me for the street vendors down there making some street tacos. Talk about you want to make like that's probably what like that'll set off somebody. Like you got street tacos. Now I'm hungry and I'm hungry and I'm angry and I really you know what I mean? Like it was terrible. No, it wasn't terrible. It fucking smelled amazing. Now, like I said, everybody was having a great time down there. Nobody was like doing anything stupid. And many of whom were Latino immigrants, which is true because like down there in Oregon or down there in Portland, we had a lot of the Latino street vendors, and they were making the street tacos, and they were making barilla. I probably said that wrong. Barilla. I know I'm saying that wrong. I'm still trying to learn the Latin language. But yeah, they and barbacoa. But I'm telling you, oh my god, like Trump, you don't understand. Like, there's not a single fucking Huelo out there that can make Latino food, except for my wife, but she's Italian. You see difference? Yes, but the previously calm demonstration turned confrontational as police on horseback moved into the crowd and struck some people with wood rods and batons as they cleared the street in front of the federal building. Who started it? Who started it? Yeah. We're just having food. Pop, 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 pop. Yeah, who started it? Get control of your fucking cops there, Newsom. Please. Do something about it. It's fucking ridiculous. Same with Tina Kotek. If you fucking even ever get to fucking see this shit or my fucking posts, do something about your fucking cops. They shouldn't be working with ICE. In fact, you should end the contracts with the ICE agents. Just pull those fucking contracts. There was one state that did that. Or no, was it a state or a city? Or no, it was a couple cities in California that cut those contracts with ICE. They're not going to be a detention center for them anymore. Beautiful. Fucking beautiful. Marchers in the crowd that New York City. Marchers in the crowd that stretched for blocks along Fifth Avenue and diverse reasons for coming had diverse reasons for coming, including anger over Trump's immigration policies, support for the Palestinian people, free fucking Palestine, free Palestine, and outrage over what they said was an erosion of free speech rights, which is, I keep doing it, it's my fucking autism, which is true. It is an attack on free speech out there as we know it. But there were patriotic symbols too. Leah Griswold, 32, and Amber Laree, 59, who marched in suffragette white dresses, beautiful, brought 250 American flags. There's the American flags again. To hand out to people in the crowd. Now that is beautiful that these two ladies dressed like suffragettes from back when women were fighting for their women's rights in the very first time. I have a pin, a brooch, and it has a picture of my grandmother, and it was taken right after she had marched and they had won. Or no, it wasn't right after. No, it was right after she had gotten to cast her first vote as a woman voting in America. And so she's like in her, it's a beautiful picture. It's old, it's like from back in the, you know what I mean. But she's she looks so fucking proud of herself that she did that. That she helped move America forward the right way. And yeah, anytime I go to the protests, that goes with me. So my grandma's always marching with me. My grandma's always protesting with me, and she's proud. And that's another thing. He's fucking. Would your grandparents be proud? Would you parents? Well, for one, my parents could fuck off, like eat dick. They're like Trump suckers. You know what I mean? My grandfather was a World War II Korean. Excuse me, a Korean War vet. I apologize. But he was a medic. He was a medic in the Navy. He was conscripted to the Marines because the Marines didn't have their own medics. So he was a Navy corpsman. He was also a POW during the Korean War. Uh, Released, obviously. I'm alive here, right? But yeah, and he felt the same way that war was stupid and we shouldn't be doing that kind of shit to people. And the horrors that he saw were immense. And he never wishes that on anybody else in the world. But he's glad that he fought for our freedoms and our. Obviously, he's passed away now, but he is glad that he fought for our freedoms and our rights as a soldier. Our mothers who came out fought for our rights, and now we're fighting for our generations, our future generations as well. Pretty much the exact same. Yeah. But hers sounds way better than what I did. Mine's long and drawn out because of my autism. Hers was to the point, succinct. Chef's kiss. Some protesters held, excuse me, some protesters held signs denouncing Trump while others banged drums. We're here because we're worried about the I'm telling you, you can't talk right now. We're here because we're worried about the existential crisis of this country and the planet and our species, said Sean Christen or Kristen. I'm not sure how to say their name. 28, Minnesota. Wasn't yeah? It's not. It wasn't Wisconsin. It's Minnesota. I don't know why I said that. It's probably my brain. I don't know. I think maybe they remind me too much of each other. Governor Tim Walz and law enforcement encouraged people not to attend rallies, which is true. It was Minnesota. My bad. So they attended, or they tried to get people to not attend because of the active shooters, and they have not caught that person yet. Speaking of which, please be careful out there. Um, and so they were trying to tell people in Minnesota, please don't go out to the rallies, please don't go out to the protests, please don't go out to the march. Keep yourself safe. And people showed up anyway. It was like, I apologize, you can't see. Law enforcement, they encouraged them to not go to the rallies out of an abundance of caution following the shootings of the Democratic state lawmakers. Dozens of events were canceled, but tens of thousands still turned out for the demonstrations in Duluth, Rochester, and St. Paul, which included a march to the state capitol. Walz canceled his scheduled appearance at the St. Paul event. I mean, I get it. Like this fucking psychopath is aiming at lawmakers, and they found a hit list. They found a massive hit list of all these. I think they said something like 70 politicians and state lawmakers from all over that they were going to be going after. And they found a Father's Day card in his bag full of ammo and all that. Yeah. Some shit. Some shit. Some shit. Dozens of events. Excuse me. I was reading another one over. My apologies. Authorities said that the suspect had no King's flyers in his car and writings mentioning the names of the victims as well as other lawmakers and officials, though they could not say if he had any other specific targets. They just released that shit. Yes, he did. Seda Hang, 29, of Rochester, said she was heartbroken by the shootings, but still wanted to join the rally there. These people are trying to do what they can for their communities, for the state, and for the nation, Hang told the Minnesota Star Tribune. In North Carolina, crowds cheered anti-Trump speakers in Charlotte's First Ward Park before marching, chanting, "No kings, no crowns, we will not bow down." That's beautiful. Marches stretched for blocks, led by a group of people holding a giant Mexican flag, and bystanders cheering and clapping along the way. Jocelyn Abarca, a 21-year-old, if I said her name wrong, I apologize. A 21-year-old college student said the protest was a chance to speak for what's right after mass deportations and Trump's deployment of the National Guard in Los Angeles. If we don't stop it now, it's just going to get worse, she said. Naomi Mena, if I said her name wrong, I apologize, said she traveled an hour to demonstrate in Charlotte to represent her friends and family who sadly can't have a voice out in public now to stay safe. That's sad. That really is fucked up. In Texas, a rally at the Texas Capitol in Austin went off as planned, despite state police briefly shutting down the building and the surrounding grounds after authorities said they received a credible threat to Democratic state lawmakers who were to attend. Dozens of state troopers, let me try that again. Dozens of I don't think I'm high enough. Dozens of state troopers swarmed through the grounds about 4 hours before the event, but the area was later opened and the rally started on time. The building remained closed, though. The Department of Public Safety later said one person was taken into custody in connection with the threats made against state lawmakers after a traffic stop in LaGrange, Texas, about 65 miles east of Boston. State police did not detail the threat or immediately identify the person, but said there was no additional active threat. Hmm. I think that person's still out there though. I know that that's not that person. I don't know. Just something in me says there's like this big old group. It's not just one person with a manifesto. It's a bunch. In Mississippi, a demonstration of hundreds of people opened to "War Pigs" by Black Sabbath, playing over a sound system on the state capitol lawn in Jackson. Fuck yes. A lot of stuff that's going on now is targeting people of color, and to see so many folks out here that aren't black or brown fighting for the same causes that I'm here for, it makes me very emotional, said Tony Cropper, who traveled from Tennessee to attend the protest. Some people wore tinfoil crowns atop their heads. Others held signs inviting motorists to honk if you never text war plans. Melissa Johnson said she drove an hour and a half to Jackson to protest because we are losing the thread of democracy in our country. Mm, that's just certain states. So what does that mean for like what's next though? That's the biggest fucking question, people, is what we got going on. What do we do next? Where do we go from here? You know, like I said when I first started the live, there are a few that are being planned here in Oregon. They don't really have a date set yet. It's still pretty much in the air. As far as the other states, I was looking up. I'm not seeing too many yet, but that's probably because they are still in the very early stages of planning. Trying to figure out, like I said, with Oregon, they're trying to figure out the date. Same thing, probably with all the rest of the states. The organizers who are putting those on are probably trying to find the best date to do it. And it's looking like July 4th is like the soft date for the next big protests. But there's also I think that's in August though, but the women's movement march, I believe. Not Women's Day, but the women's, I can't remember what the name of it is. But that one was another one that we're talking about coming up that could be no problem getting it, but they still have to, they're taking votes on which days are going to be the best. So, in the wonderful words of January Springer, my final thoughts on this. We need to do more. Keep it peaceful. But we really need to do a lot more. We should be boycotting a lot more. We should be doing everything we can to nip this shit in the fucking bud as fast as possible. We need to get rid of Trump. We need to get rid of his regime. And that's going to start with us as civilians. if you've been watching the news, if you've been seeing anything that's going on with the Democrats, the Republicans, all of those idiots, the politicians in DC, all of them, we need to get rid of all of them. We need to do what we're supposed to do as a mandate by the United States Constitution and stand up against a tyrannical government and abolish it, take back our governmental power until we can create a better government to put in its place. But that's just my 2 cents. And see, I've been working on this a little bit, trying to get this better. If you don't check it out, I'm going to say it again. Adam, Seth, Sundays, YouTube. Adam, Seth, Sundays, YouTube. Okay, follow us there. I have got 2 strikes on my TikTok account now where they are saying one more and I'm going to get banned. And if you want to find out why they gave me my second strike, it's a video I had posted on my TikTok. If you look through it, you'll see that one of them comes up as content violation. If you want to see that video, go to my YouTube, Adam Seth Sundays. Go to my YouTube. Look for the video. Should be one of the very first ones, and first was my shorts. It sounds so funny saying that. You're gonna have to look at my shorts. But anyways, you guys look at my shorts at YouTube, and you will find the one that says "Food for Thought." Look at that video. That's what got me the ban on TikTok. It's still there on YouTube. There's nothing wrong with it on YouTube. Nothing absolutely wrong at all with it. TikTok says that I'm spreading misinformation when all I was actually saying is I wonder. I didn't say I have the evidence for the facts. I said I wonder. There are certain facts that lead me to my conclusion, my theory. But it's still a theory. It's not like it's actually set in stone, or is it there, TikTok? Still waiting for the video to get unbanned, but we'll see. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and get off of here. I appreciate the people who have tuned in and the 4 people who have stayed. I'm not sure who Mario Pacheco. If I said your name wrong, I apologize, bro. Mario Pacheco. But thank you for tuning in. I do appreciate it. And Adam, Seth, Sundays on YouTube. You can also follow me on Instagram, seth.mosby.12. Yeah, and I'll catch you all fuckers on the flip side. Same thing goes with you. You've been amazing. You've been fantastic. I love you.